See, you're one of those guys. I've always been a fan of yours, and you're probably the one comic I drove home more in the '90s than anybody. You always seem to rock.
I love that started as a compliment. Then I've done more annoying favors for you than
No. It was not an annoying favor because I always had fun talking.
Have you given me rides? I guess you have given me rides.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You always like down to Alphabet City, wherever you live.
Well, yeah.
You always live in the hippest part of town.
Yeah, I do. Because
I don't know.
Guy.
I don't know much about you. I know you went to the University of Florida.
Yes.
Do you have brothers and sisters?
I have a brother.
Okay.
Ian.
What does he do?
He does advertising.
Oh, so the whole family's
yeah,
advertising.
except for me.
Was your father a big Madison Avenue type?
No, he wasn't like a madman douchebag. No. He's a very modest man.
Did he enjoy your irony?
I think he did. He was pretty funny. Yeah, man. I'm like Lenny Bruce. Man.
No, you're a very smart guy. I mean, have you ever checked your IQ? What is it?
It's probably not. I think I have. I mean, I was in the gifted program when I was in.
Oh, you were. Mike thought he was in Mensa, and what he tried to do was download the test that shows if you're in Mensa, and he couldn't do it.
Well, no.
Todd, don't you think that guarantees
you're
not?
Battle,
Todd, I did well on the test, but I couldn't download the test back. I'm mechanically spastic.
Yeah, right. So I think that proves that you're not in Mensa. But but I would think your IQ, you probably Kubrickian, Stanley Kubrickian.
Is he a genius? I mean, I know he's a film.
I heard he had like a 200 IQ.
Whoa.
I don't know. Can you even get a 200 IQ?
I think Einstein was 140. No, I'm just saying, you seem like...
I'm a bright guy.
Yes, you're a bright guy. And you're... but at the University of Florida, did you get a lot of broads there? Did you get a lot of women?
Broads? Oh, we're doing this now.
You don't seem like a gator.
No, I was definitely not but I mean, this is the thing, because people say UF is a party school. It's like, yeah, it has that there, but it also has fucking shy dweebs like
What
me.
did you study?
English.
Oh, okay.
Because I couldn't.
That's a lot of pussy getting.
I just knew that I didn't want to do business, and so I said, let's do English.
At what point did you want to be a comedian?
It's weird because I didn't even consider it. People were always like, "You should be a comedian. You're funny." And
right.
I always wanted to be
even
funny.
like as a child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I never like comedian. Well, I don't want to be a comedian. But I always used to watch like I was on all these. A lot of people were on my radar, like Letterman.
Right.
Before he had a TV show.
Absolutely.
Like
I always loved Letterman. Too.
I used to watch him.
How old are you?
Me? I'm 55.
I'm 52.
I'm
so same generation.
You're 58?
Yeah.
Holy shit. Bichetti looks great.
Does that make you feel good?
Thank you.
Yeah, he looks...
I'm 52, but I always loved Letterman, too. Letterman was a guy...
Yeah, but I mean, him and like Michael...
So his stand-up, like back far as that, like you remember his stand-up? Not many
I do
people
remember stand-up, and I remember, I used to, whenever it was like, we have a bright young comic on, I always liked those people.
Yeah, absolutely. Drake Sather used to do his show
Drake
a lot.
Sather was great.
Yeah.
So all these people I was kind of very interested in. And then in Florida, believe it or not, they had one of the first comedy clubs, I think, in the country.
Right.
The Comic Strip.
Uh-huh.
And so I
really?
used to, yeah.
So by Miami?
In Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then, it was a branch of the New York Comic Strip. And,
yeah.
And so I would go to like open mics and watch.
So you started in Florida?
I did start in Florida, yeah.
In college?
After college.
After college.
Right after college.
Did you start Dennis Regan?
I did. He and I were on the South Florida comedy scene together.
And who were the early guys, who might have been a little bit older than you, that you loved, like that you were sort of influenced by, that you met through comedy?
Oh, that I met?
Yeah.
I mean, I used to... who you mean like...
peers that you respected.
Oh. I mean, in Florida, I started, and...
Not a lot of guys down there.
Yeah, there was Dennis Regan and
his brother Brian.
Brian, who I didn't know down there.
Yeah.
I think he had already moved.
But so you're in... How long do you do it in Florida before you move?
Thing is, I had already decided that I wanted to move to New York because our family...
You have to.
Well, this was independent of becoming a comic.
Right.
I was just like... I remember we took a few trips back there after... My father... I lived till upstate New York for 3 years, till I was 8. And my father's whole company got moved to Florida.
Okay.
So that's how I ended up in Florida.
Right.
It was never a thing. No one ever wanted to move to Florida. No, I don't mean that as a slam against Florida. It was just because I was like, wow, that's weird. We're moving to Florida.
No one likes to move from New York anywhere.
Yeah. So then we made a few trips back, and I was like, in just Manhattan, I was like, oh, this is where I want to live.
Yeah, it's fun.
And I'm not a decisive guy, so it was pretty good that something was like that locked in.
So how long before you moved to New York?
I did comedy for like a year. But down there, like you could... like start by saying, "Hey, can I do your open mic night tomorrow?"
Right.
And they used to do it during the headliner show, so
Yeah.
they would like the headliner week would be Tuesday through Sunday or whatever, Sunday whatever, and they would like either on Monday or Tuesday or Sunday they would have the open mic and then the headliner.
Yeah.
So you
And
got
I-
and this is during the comedy boom when people were just like, "We're going to see comedy."
or like mid '80s.
Yeah, late
Yeah.
like '87.
So and I mean, but like were you immediately funny on stage?
I mean, I killed the first time.
I know that again. That's a rare story, but I totally believe that.
Yeah, I mean, also I did have the advantage. I didn't go up. It wasn't a New York, like an open mic where there's 8 comics
Right.
waiting to go on, and then like one's regular.
Uh-huh.
So it was like a real crowd. So
But
I did
you-
have the
yeah,
advantage of a real crowd.
Yeah, plus exactly. So and that's good training for I mean, it's
Yeah.
basically the road. But so then you come to New York, and where do you pass first? What did you go
I
to the
remember
comic strip?
I came. If in retrospect, I came to New York too soon. I think for like if I had it to do over again, I would have gone on the road for a year.
Really?
Another year, yeah.
But don't you think it worked out? Like, what do you regret
of
about
course,
it?
ultimately it did work
Yeah,
out because
yeah.
here I am.
You're a well-respected comedian.
Super.
yeah.
I was going to say that myself.
No, you are in the upper echelon. Dude.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I mean,
I'll kiss
thank
your
you.
ass a little bit.
Me
Okay,
too.
thank you. Well,
I
I'll
mean,
stay
I
then.
remember a lot of your jokes. You're a guy who I remember the first time I ever saw you do stand-up. Was at Stand Up New York.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I saw Attell, Chappelle. I remember the first.
You're always nice and sweet to me as a new comic. Because
Well, I think he was making fun of you.
No,
No.
He was always a gentleman because a lot of comics were dickheads when I was new to me, and he was always a good guy.
Well, that's nice. Todd's always on the prowl too.
No.
Yeah, Todd hit on my sister for a long time.
I was attracted to your sister.
I know.
I
think-
don't know that I hit on her.
Well,
Like, I mean, in the
she
play,
said there was a lot of emails or something.
it was some. No, I think it was a lot of emails. I was probably like. I definitely flirted
love how
with
insecure.
her. I don't know. Something about hit on.
And
Sounds
I
much
I
more,
welcomed it. I said you should marry Todd Barry. But
Okay.
she had a she
Is
she
she
had
married to
awful,
someone else?
awful taste in men.
Oh, really?
Awful taste.
Who's
No,
she?
she's currently single.
Really?
Yeah, listen, I mean, I'll make that happen.
All right.
Now, what dude, so now how often do you go on the road? You're one of those guys. First of all, you were always around like hip people. I remember you coming into Stand Up New York in the '90s with Moon Unit Zappa.
Well-
I ran into her at a ATM the other day. a few weeks ago, actually.
She has money. That's nice. But you always were around like the hip crowd, like you.
Yeah, I'm.
But you weren't a bullshit guy like some of these alternative guys. You're a guy who has jokes,
Yeah, I mean, I've always I've always just said I'm a comedian, and then when the alt thing happened, I loved working those rooms, but
Yeah.
I never was like, oh, finally, someone can handle my altness. Like I never was like.
But what did that even mean? It's like it just meant to me. It's like you just do comedy's comedy.
Yeah. I mean, and that's like, and if people would write like an article about me and say alternative, I would actually write to them, and go, can you remove
Yeah,
alternative?
you hate that, right?
I mean, there are some acts that are very odd and like probably wouldn't work
Yeah.
at a comedy club, but I'm just
Or anywhere.
a joke slinger. Man.
But I remember one time you told me you were doing stand up in Helsinki once. Or
Oh yeah, I did. Yeah,
so you do festivals?
I just did Bangkok.
Oh, wow.
A few weeks
so
ago.
that's like you're one of those guys. Like, there's not a lot of guys who do that. Like,
I
how do
know.
those gigs go in Bangkok?
Well,
Like,
Bangkok, it's all expats, so it's all you go up there and it's like it was like I went to an open mic in Bangkok the
Right.
night before. I just happened to find out about one, and it was an English-speaking open mic, and then
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And I didn't go on, but it was just like, oh, this. I feel like you could if you told me I was in Brooklyn now, I'd be. It's just the handful of people.
so you
in the
find
crowd.
places that Americans go to, or
Yeah, I
English
mean,
speaking people
it's
go.
not a thing where like my comedy transcends time.
That's what I mean. Even if someone could speak English, if they don't get, like, I mean, it must be difficult to do stand up in Helsinki.
When you do it, yeah. But yeah, I mean, I find ways of making it work in that because it's just the references, like the English. I don't go to a place where like they don't speak English.
Yeah.
But
Oh no, that's
That'd be a little
I'm not like
pretentious.
what's Eddie Izzard who does his act in like 7 languages. But
How often are you on the road? A
I'm
lot,
on the road
right?
like probably 3 or 4 months a year.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So not as much.
I mean,
At the height of your road.
no, I think that is. I don't know.
You don't love it.
No, I do love it, but I get tired of it. But I mean, I'm trying to think how I feel about being on the road. Like I go on the road and then I kind of
But
want
isn't
to
that
come
how you
home.
make
Then
most
I
of
come
your
home.
money?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
I mean,
writing,
and
too.
I also like, I've done comedy in all 50 states and a bunch of countries. I like sort of just not just doing New York.
Yeah, but and you're great at crowd work too.
I am.
mean,
I
you're
had a
known
crowd
for
work
that.
special.
Yeah, what is that? It's called
The crowd work tour.
The crowd work tour.
Yeah, it's
Well,
on
I mean,
Amazon Prime.
You're uniquely good at that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, and thank you.
Is
It's
that
not a
something?
great skill. It's such a hard skill.
Mike,
I don't have that skill.
You work the crowd a lot?
I don't talk to people that much.
You don't talk at all on
What-
stage?
what-
I think
in a
it's
while.
unnecessary. I mean, I
Well,
think
crowd work, you
I'm
mean.
pretty good at it, but
Yeah, you're great at it.
But I mean, I've seen comics who are like, I got to practice my crowd work. No, you don't.
Yeah, no, you
Just
don't at
fucking
all.
write some-
You don't even have to acknowledge them.
Don't make my mistake.
Now, are you disappointed in your career?
Oh wow, did I say something?
I don't know. You alluded to the fact
Todd,
that
you
Oh,
were
I
like
started
I said
talking about
earlier,
being on the
you were
road.
great
Yeah.
in the fucking wrestler.
Oh, thank
I'm like,
you.
why?
Mike's a big
why
fan
don't
of your
you-
work in the
no, I am
wrestling.
because I'm like these idiots should have him all over fucking stuff now.
now you play an asshole in that.
Yeah.
No. But the thing
You
is,
play the guy at the deli, right?
No. But what I'm saying is, the thing is, by knowing Todd, right,
And you're great in it.
No, but by seeing him as a person, know what a cool guy he was, I'm like, it freaked me out to see me a butthead.
Do you think it was?
Whoa.
Do you think it was a stretch for him to play an asshole?
No, he's a good guy.
I
and
think
love
everything every role I get, or every even voiceover they're just like, just talk like
You know what I
talk.
find a great compliment? The show Crashing that I was in.
Yeah.
At the end of the first season, you're in the show, but it's just the judge just puts your stand up in it. Like
Yeah.
it's something that Pete.
How is that? I don't know if that's a compliment.
No, it is.
Yeah, we don't actually want you on the show. We'll grab a clip from a fucking
I'm saying
show
it
you
just-
did in
I mean,
Montreal.
you really are the definition of a comic's comic. I mean, a show about comedians. He chose your clip to be the thing he's watching.
Right. Right.
But you'd rather be in the show. Do you like acting?
I do like it, but I like to break up the stand up.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just to do
Sure, I mean, it
a
is
different
good.
project. But I do find acting. Do you like acting?
Yeah, I like it a lot. I do. Yeah.
I like when it's all done, but I do find the way I've said it in many interviews. No, well, I'm just noticing all these
This is the
cameras.
one
Holy
interview.
shit!
Yeah.
Is that I feel like in stand up,
It's like jail.
You say whatever you want, and you don't have to wake up early. No one tells you what to do, and you don't have to wake
Absolutely,
up early.
no,
And
yeah.
acting's the opposite. You have to wake up early, and someone's telling you what to do.
And so many people could fuck up, like it could be. You could think it's going to just total shit at
Right.
the end. It's disappointing. Most of it's disappointing.
And also, it's like the open-ended sort of waiting, where you do a take, and you're like, that was great. Let's do another one.
Right.
You just said it was great. And then
Why do it again?
then like 35 great takes
Oh, no,
later,
it
you're
take-
still
it-
up.
it
and I'm
does
like,
take forever.
But then it's just like, this is I shouldn't be complaining
It's
about.
so
I had to
different.
do too many takes.
But
I know.
but you're right though. It's so different than stand up.
Yeah, it's
Because in stand up you get to be like you're so independent. You got
You're
your
right.
own fucking routine, and
Right.
you don't want to deal with anything.
Like, all right, I'm going on at 8:15. I'm probably going to be done by 9:15.
That's it.
And
it's
I know
over.
where I'm going to be eating by 10 o'clock.
Oh, and I did my first thing with Todd.
But it gets monotonous, like you said.
I did my first acting gig with Todd years
That's
ago.
right. The
What is, is that a Louis thing?
Yeah.
That Louis thing.
It was
Were you on a boat
Todd,
or something?
Rick Shapiro.
Yeah,
Louis
yeah.
directed us, and
it was the hijacker.
yeah,
It was,
so much
it was
fun,
fun
that day.
Yeah, I think I was good in that.
No, you were great. You would.
All right, I was great.
Rick was holding him up at gunpoint.
I think I was good at
No,
that.
Rick was holding Todd.
Nice,
hostage.
nice,
No, because
nice lead in.
I don't always think I always feel like, oh.
Are you mostly? Well, you know what you have again. Certain directors are fan of yours, and they know how to use you. Like Todd Phillips.
Yeah.
He put you in Road Trip, right?
Yeah, I thought I thought I was going to be in Joker. Like it was like they're like,
what happened
hold
there?
to save the state.
You thought you were going to play the
I was
Joker?
Like, pinned. I don't know. I think I was going to do one of the parts that one of
So
those,
what-
my
what-
fucking friends got.